Happy Monday. I am fired up. Let's talk some baseball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and it's Monday. That's right. We are back, and I am ready to roll. I want to talk some baseball. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. I had a great weekend with the family. Just went to the fair today. That was great. Played some games. I wasn't very successful in those. I was pretty unhappy about it, but that's all right. It was a lot of fun. Other than that, it was a so-so weekend for betting. We'll get into it. 4-4, ho hum, whatever. Better than the weekend before. I'll tell you that. Weekend betting seems to be really freaking hard in baseball, but I might just go to half unit every weekend. We'll see. But we did have a good Friday. I do know that. So, it is Monday. You know what that means? It is Movie Monday, baby. That's right. Here we go. This is what we're doing today. Leave a comment below. Let me know who you think is the best coach in a football movie. That's right. The best coach in a football movie. I got my answer. It was hard. There's some good ones. But I'm going to give you my one answer, and it's the man, Herman Boone, Denzel Washington, the coach of Remember the Titans. He's an absolute badass. I mean, he's just a badass. I remember when I was younger, I asked my dad why he wasn't more like Denzel Washington. Kind of a running joke in the family now that he's Denzel. Anyways, he's the man. There's a lot of other ones. I won't even mention them. I just want to wait to hear from you guys. But that's my favorite one. So leave a comment below. Best football coach in a movie. All right, big show for you today. I know I say that every day probably, but it really is. We got good hitter matchups. We got who's on fire, good pitcher strikeout matchups, the pitcher report, and the best bets for today, Monday, August 21st. You guys, we are getting closer and closer to 6,000 subscribers. Trying to hit it before we hit our 1 year anniversary. It's going to be tight of this channel, which is September 3rd. But either way, thank you guys for all the support. It's a ton of fun. Smash that like button today. All right, here we go. I'm ready to roll. Let's go to the bets recap page. All right, we got a lot going on. There is a 4-4 weekend for you. Braves -1.5, easy winner. A's let us down. How dare I bet on the A's? Over in the Dodgers game was an easy winner. J Rod and Mookie Betts came through 3 and 1 day on Friday. Did not hit the Friday parlay. We are due for that. Saturday was the debacle. Twins team total over 4.5. They couldn't get over 4.5 against Mitch Keller and the Pirates, and they lost by multiple runs. They got 4. We lost by the hook. Yelich and Altuve 1+ hit each. Altuve got it done. Yelich 5 at bats, put all 5 in play for 0 hits. Thank you, Christian Yelich. But that's baseball. Sunday, J Rod, Horner, Seager 1+ hit. These last two, by the way, were only a half unit. I wish I did more now, but just a half unit because it's Sunday. J Rod hit in the first at bat. Horner hit in the first at bat. Seager a hit in the first at bat. That was a beauty. And then the other one is not a beauty. It was absolutely ugly. Braves and Rangers moneyline parlay. Braves lost at home, Giants, with Max Fried on the mound. And then the Rangers lost with Max Scherzer on the mound. I don't know what I was thinking. Just backing a few maxes, but it is what it is. 4-4 weekend, just ho hum. We got to get better, and it starts today. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. All right, you know I got to talk about Oddsjam. I love me some Oddsjam. They are very helpful with your research every single day, every sport. If you just want to sign up for free, do it. You can see all the different odds across all the different sports books. And football season is right around the corner. We are going to have a guy in here on our video from Oddsjam giving you his 3 best bets for week 1 based on that positive EV screen that they give you, which is expected value. You get fantasy optimizer if you like player props. Guys, there's everything you could ever imagine, and it's also a very, very user-friendly website. So I know a lot of you have already been using it, so it sounds like it's all going well. It's helping me a lot with my research. But if you want to sign up for those plans, use that promo code JABO, 25% off. You know I love Oddsjam. All right, with that said, let's go. Let's talk some baseball. Okay, it is time to talk some bats. We got 8 good hitter matchups for you today. First one, Jose Altuve of the Astros, been on an absolute roll. 11 for 34, 1 double, and 2 home runs versus James Paxton. The next one, Austin Riley of the Braves, 8 for 18 and 3 doubles versus David Peterson. And then we got Omar Narvaez of the New York Mets, 5 for 16, 1 double, 1 home run versus Uncle Charlie Morton. And then Yasmani Grandal of the White Sox, not the Red Sox, 5 for 13, 2 doubles, and 2 home runs versus Luis Castillo. And then Wilmer Flores of the Giants, 3 for 10 and 1 home run versus Aaron Nola. And then maybe his first appearance, Johan Camargo of the San Francisco Giants. I may have butchered that name. He is 3 for 10, one double, one home run versus Nola. Not bad, 3 for 10. Mike Yastrzemski of the Giants, 3 for 7, one double, and one home run versus Nola. And then we end it with Manny Machado of the Padres, 3 for 5. I know it's only 5 at bats, but 3 hits, and 2 of them went for home runs versus Jesus Lazardo. Now, that Miami Padres game, I've seen on all different apps, all different pitchers. I think it's Lazardo versus Snell, but who the heck knows anymore? Plus, there's a hurricane coming in, so you got to be careful with that game, and also I believe the Angels game. So just check the weather report for Monday. But just want to let you know. So those are the best hitter matchups. Get those s'mores ready, baby. It's time for Who's on Fire. Okay, it's time for my favorite segment. We got the hitters on fire for the last 15 days. As you can see there on the right, minimum 38 at bats with a 340 average or higher to make this list. We have 3 pages for you, and it starts out with my favorite player in Major League Baseball, my next Griffey, Julio Rodriguez, and this will not be the last time you hear about him. 476 average on an absolute tear. How about setting an MLB record with the most hits in a 4 game span? We had 4 plus hits in 4 straight games. Unfreaking believable. I don't talk about my Mariners a lot, so I got to show some love. Other than that, we got a lot of the same guys, to be honest with you. But Kerry Carpenter down there for the Tigers is having a sneaky good last couple months. 404 average, 6 bombs, and 11 ribbies in the last 15 days. One of the only few guys that can hit in that Tigers lineup for them, unfortunately. Bobby Witt's still rolling as another second-year player. Mookie Betts hitting 400. There's just a bunch of guys. Jake Berger, we talked about last week, a new hitter for the Marlins when he got traded over, and he's been hitting the ball really well. And then, of course, you got a Braves player in there because I don't think you can go a page without a Braves player. So that's the first page. Let's go check out page number 2. Jose Altuve, 460 average. Pretty unbelievable. Unfortunately, he still got swept by the Mariners. I have to point that out. We don't do that often. So, anyways, Zach Geloff of the A's. It's the second time he's made it. He's been hitting the ball pretty well. And then we got Teoscar, another Mariner, of course, and then we finish it with a couple more Braves players at the bottom of the page. But yeah, Trey Turner, good to see him back and hitting the ball well. I know some people have been using him in some hitter props, which has been pretty dang good. So that's page 2. Let's go to page 3 now. Couple Cubs players. We got Nico Horner and Cody Bellinger hitting the ball well. And then the leading average hitter right there, along with Julio, is Brandon Nimmo of the Mets, hitting 476. Unfortunately, the Mets season is pretty much over, but that's pretty impressive by Nimmo there. So, anyways, those are the 3 pages. And by the way, real quick, Stone Garrett, this is definitely his first appearance. I don't know a lot about Stone Garrett, but hitting 400 is pretty good with 12 ribbies. So, but yeah, 3 pages. Take screenshots. Get some winners. Let's just absolutely smash it this week. The next Who's on Fire will be for the last 7 days on Friday. For those of you that are new to the channel, we do it every Monday and every Friday. So there it is. That is the Who's on Fire. And now it's time for the good pitcher strikeout matchups. All right, it is time to talk some arms. We have 3 good pitcher strikeout matchups for you, and it starts with Aaron Nola versus the Giants. Giants' ninth highest K percentage versus righties in the last 30 days, but it is at 25%. Aaron Nola, 160 Ks in 153.1 innings. He has 6 plus Ks in 8 straight starts, so that's pretty impressive. Even though he has not had his best year this year, that's for sure. Next one, Tuki Toussaint versus the Mariners. Mariners' sixth highest K percentage versus righties in the last 30 days at 26.2%. Toussaint, he's kind of a little above average. He's not an elite strikeout pitcher. 51 strikeouts in 50.1 innings, but in his last 4 starts, it's been 4-9-9-4. So he's all over the place, but I did have to throw that one in there because the Mariners, even though they are red hot, they still strike out a lot. The last one, Lucas Giolito, who has not done well for the Angels. Going up against the Reds. Reds' fourth highest K percentage versus righties in the last 30 days at 27%. Giolito, 150 Ks in 142 innings. Those are the best strikeout matchups, and now it's time for the pitcher report. Okay, let's go over the 10 matchups for today, August 21st. We have some okay matchups. I'll just say that. But Assad up there for the Cubs, been pitching well in his few starts that he has for the Cubs, as you can tell by his ERA, expected ERA, all that kind of stuff. We do have a first-time starter in Rom for the Cardinals. Just to give you guys a little info on him, he had 118 strikeouts in 97 innings with AAA this year. with a 4.82 ERA. So ERA is not exactly something you love to see out of a guy coming up to the majors, but you never know. Sometimes hitters aren't ready for him. So just want to let you know he's going up against a struggling Bailey Falter. And then down at the bottom, James Paxton is actually having a much better year than Christian Javier. In fact, it's kind of weird to see Christian Javier and Aaron Nola. They kind of have average to slightly above average years this year when we expected a lot more out of them. So, anyways, those are the first five matchups. Let's go to that second page. Luis Castillo versus Tuki Toussaint. Let's see if the M's can get another win. Graham Ashcraft, guys, let's just talk about him real quick. 4.74 expected ERA. His numbers are coming down, but let me just tell you 6.28 ERA in the first half of the year in 81.2 innings. Okay. The second half of the year in 45.1 innings. How about a 2.38 ERA? He has been a much different pitcher since he came back from injury. So just want to let you know, he's still not a high strikeout guy, but just want to give you as much info as possible. And then the one down there, guys, like I said, it could be literally two different starters. I've seen Luzardo, I've seen Snell on most of the apps, but then one changed it. So I don't have any clue. I just gave you two pitchers, but be sure to check who is actually pitching for the Padres and the Marlins. And also check that Hurricane because that might be a tough go there for that game and the Angels game. So, anyways, those are the 10 matchups. Take screenshots, get winners, whether it's walks for a pitcher, strikeouts, first 5 innings, whatever it is you guys want to do, get some winners. So, with that said, it is finally time for the best bets. All right, game number one takes us out to the south side of Chicago. We got the Mariners at the White Sox. M's money line minus 185, White Sox money line plus 154, over under of 8.5 runs. You know I got to talk about it real quick. Mariners on a freaking roll. They are in the wild card spot and heading for the Rangers right now. That's right. I am loving every second of it. But here we go. Now, my best bet in this game, and I got two of them. So, two separate bets. The first bet is Julio Rodriguez over 1.5 bases at plus 100. Holy crap, has he been on a roll? He just broke Milt Stock's record from 1925 with the most hits in a 4 game span 17. 17 freaking hits. This guy is 18 for his last 27 because he had a cold day yesterday. He only went 1 for 5. But he has 2+ bases in 7 of his last 8 games. Sometimes in baseball, you got to ride the hot bat. This is a guy that is going to be a superstar in this league for many, many years to come. I got to ride the J Rod show. We just got to do it. To the fact that we're getting plus 100 right now still is mind boggling to me. And that's on DraftKings. FanDuel is giving it out at like minus 115, minus 120. I love that plus 100 value. But I don't know if Julio knows this, but it's Major League Baseball. He's not playing T-ball. It's not Little League. Hitting a baseball is the hardest thing you can do in sports, and somehow he is just absolutely lighting it up. It's like he's hitting a beach ball out there. We are riding the hot bat right now. It's a heat check. Call it bias. Call it whatever you want. You don't have to tail this one, but we got to ride this Julio streak. So give me Julio Rodriguez over 1.5 bases. And by the way, he also hasn't walked since August 9th. So he's up there swinging. That's what we like to see in these kind of hitter props. So that is my first bet this game. Now the second bet I have is the Mariners minus 1.5. That's right. It is all things Mariners. These first two bets. I got that at minus 115, guys. The M's are 16-4 in their last 20. That's right. The hottest team since the All-Star break, and it's not even close. They are in the final wild card spot, like I mentioned, only like 3.5 games back of the Rangers. Thank you, Brewers, for taking care of them this weekend. They go up against Tuki Toussaint of the White Sox. He has almost a 17% walk rate. That's right. It is really high, which I know if you go back to the Julio bet, you don't love to see him getting walked, but he doesn't walk a lot either. So, but Toussaint, 4.47 ERA. He has given up 11 earned runs in the last 14.1 innings. And usually he only goes about 4 or 5 innings every game. And what that means is you get 4 to 5 innings of this bad White Sox bullpen, which I love to see. And then Luis Castillo is on the mound for the Mariners. We all know him. 3 or less earned runs in 6 of his last 8. In those 2 he didn't. He did have bad starts. I'm not going to lie. But he usually always bounces back when he has a bad start. So last start, 4 earned runs in 7 innings to the Royals. This White Sox team is not hitting like the Royals. It's weird to say that out loud, but the Royals are actually hitting the ball really well. This White Sox team is a bottom 5 team against righties right now. They are second to last WRC plus, 26th in ISO power, so not a lot hitting a lot of double or extra base hits, a lot of home runs, and they have a 237 batting average versus righties in the last 30 days. Also, I don't know if you know this, offenses that leave Coors Field, which they just did, the next day, they usually struggle. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but it's been known for a while now. You go from that altitude to another city, and then you struggle. It takes a day or two to get back into the flow of it. So they're already a bad offense. We're talking the better starting pitcher by far, the better lineup right now by far, the better bullpen. I mean, the Mariners are a top three bullpen in this league right now, and the hotter team. Guys, it's all there. Mariners minus 1.5. They are the road team, which also helps. 9 guaranteed at bats to get to win by 2+ runs. Love the value. Give me the M's minus 1.5. It's a lot of Mariners to start the show. Do not let me down, boys. Stay hot. Let's go. All right, let's move on to that second game. All right, bet number 3 is a nice little hitter parlay. We got Jose Altuve and Kerry Carpenter, 1+ hit each at plus 107. Let's start out with Mr. Altuve. By the way, if you've ever been to the racetrack, Jose Altuve looks like all the jockeys. It's absolutely insane. Maybe he's going to be a jockey when he's done with baseball. I just wanted to point that out. It's kind of crazy. Okay, that was not needed. But here we go. I'm hoping he's a safer part of this hitter parlay because he's been on an absolute roll, hitting 460 in the last 15 days. That's right. Almost 1 out of every 2 at bats, he is getting a hit. And against James Paxton. Paxton used to be on the Mariners team, so he has a lot of history against them. He is 11 for 34, which is a 324 average. Hash brown math. He is very familiar with him, so I love Altuve to get 1+ hit. He'll probably get more because that's what he's been doing lately. And then Kerry Carpenter, a guy that is not talked about very often. You saw him on the Who's on Fire list. He is hitting 404 in the last 15 days. This is remarkable. Nobody's really even talking about him because he's on the Tigers, which, by the way, he's on the Tigers, in case you didn't know that. 1+ hit in 15 of his last 16 games. That's right, only 1 game away from being on a 16-game hitting streak. He also has 2+ bases in 11 of his last 15. That is wild to me. I almost went with his over 1.5 bases, but instead I played it safe. Just get a hit with Jose Altuve, or at least what I think is safer. We'll see. He is hitting 281 with 17 home runs this year and only 270 at bats, facing Javier Assad for the Cubs. He's been decent, but his strikeout rate is around 18%. Doesn't miss a lot of bats. The reason we're getting good value is Kerry Carpenter hits about 4th or 5th in the batting lineup, so you usually get a little better odds there because there's a less chance of him getting like that 5th at bat. But it hasn't mattered. Like I said, 1+ hit in 15 of his last 16. He's been hitting a lot harder pitchers than Javier Assad in the Cubs bullpen. So give me Carpenter, give me Altuve, 1+ hit each at plus 107. Let's move on to our fourth and final bet. All right, the final bet takes us out to the ATL. We got the Mets at the Braves. Braves money line minus 198. Mets money line plus 164 with an over under of 10 runs. We're getting a little creative here. I only have a half unit on this. We're going to see how this goes, but I just think this is great value. So here we go. Alan Winans to record a win at plus 170. Again, I'm only putting a half unit on this. I think it's how you pronounce his name. Winans. I don't know. He is the pitcher for the Braves. It's kind of a fancy way of saying I think the Braves win, but we're getting plus 170 value. So, for those of you that do not know all the baseball rules or anything like that, in order to record a win, the starting pitcher must pitch at least 5+ innings. He must leave the game with the lead. And when he leaves, the bullpen better hold the lead because if they give up the lead at all and the other team ties it up, takes the lead, either of those, he is no longer in line for the win. So 5+ innings pitched, leave with the lead, keep the lead. So there is some luck involved. That's why you're getting plus 170. He could leave with a 5-1 lead and the bullpen blows it. It's out of our hands. It is what it is. So here we go with the matchup real quick. David Peterson, the lefty, is on the mound for the Mets. He's only been throwing about 3 to 4 innings lately. They know if they pitch him any longer, it's just going to get ugly. He did throw 5 innings a lot earlier this year. This season against the Braves, he gave up 4 earned runs in 5 innings. He's just not very good. He's just not a great lefty. He'll give you 2 to 3 innings. The Braves have seen him before. They're going to hit him around. It will not be a problem. We know how good this Braves offense is. And behind him, since he's only going to throw about 3 innings, is the bad Mets bullpen. So I like that matchup. And then Winans. Let's talk about him. He has only made 2 major league starts. That's right. It's probably why we're getting such great odds also. His last start was against this exact same Mets team, and the Braves won 21-3. Pretty crazy. I don't expect a 21-3 because I expect the Braves to go for 2 this time. Just joking. Anyways, Really, honestly, though, he picked up the win in his last start against the same team. So in order to do that same thing, it's plus 170. I would gladly take it. He threw 111 pitches that last game. So, and I know you might say, well, his arm might be tired. No, that was 8 to 9 days ago. They took him back down to AAA for no reason, then brought him back up. It's weird. I don't know why he's not pitching every 5 days right now when you got Chirinos on the mound for the Braves and a couple other guys. But either way, he threw 111 pitches, which means he's stretched out. Pitching 5+ innings as long as he's throwing the ball well should not be an issue. And in 5 seasons in the minors, because you need to know a little bit about him since he's only made 2 major league starts. 5 seasons in the minors, a 2.80 ERA, and now he has a 1.59 ERA in 2 starts in the majors. So he limits runs. It's just what he does. Obviously, it's only his third start, but again, it is plus 170. I like the value because it's the Braves. As long as they don't blow the lead, I think he's going to leave the game with the lead. He's going to pitch 5, 6, maybe more innings if he's throwing the ball well, and the Braves should have the lead. They just can't blow it. So that's what we got. I know I rambled on that one, but if you do have any questions about these kind of bets, let me know. It is on DraftKings. Alan Winans to record a win plus 170 for a half a unit is my final bet of the day. Let's go to that bets recap page. There it is. Julio over 1.5 bases. Heat check, Julio. Come on, J Rod. Then the Mariners minus 1.5. Let's put a beat down on the White Sox. That's at minus 150. Then we got Jose Altuve, Kerry Carpenter, 1+ hit each at plus 107. And we end it with a half unit, a fun bet to do. Let's see if we can get a nice winner. Alan Winans to record a win. Who didn't have Alan Winans on their betting card today? That's right, baby. Those are our 4 best bets. Do not forget to leave a comment below with your favorite coach, like we did for Movie Monday for a football movie. Let's have some fun. Let's have a good Monday. It's a weird Monday. We got weather going on in Southern California. Hope everyone stays safe there. Not a ton of games, weird pitching matchups, and pitchers going in and out. Make sure to check the starting pitchers for that Padres Marlins game, too. So, anyways, thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate it. Let's have a good Monday. Talk to you later.